Shot, he scores! And the Ballers win! Helena is no longer undefeated!
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
Barons win! Barons win!
Cody Janzen stopped 92 out of 95 shots, including a penalty shot in overtime. Somehow he still only wound up the third star of the game.
You like that?
Janzen has a heart.
You're smoking crack!
Happening, world. Cody Janzen, World Hockey Report. We are coming to you live on 12-Ounce Sports Hockey Podcast Network today from the Pro Rock Broadcast Studios in beautiful Alberta. Join the conversation anytime. You get it right up on screen there. You already know the drill. Hey, we're on Twitter at World Hockey RPT. That's where you can connect with us, and we'll get the conversation going. A lot of playoff talk to get to. Vegas, I mean, they've seemingly used up all their lives, somehow still not mathematically eliminated. The Oilers are buzzing. The Flames, man, huge news out of Nashville. Huge news out of Nashville. We'll dive into that all in a little bit here. World Hockey Report. Don't forget, use the promo code THPN on DraftKings. You can go hook yourself up with a nice promo code thanks to our friends over at DraftKings and the Hockey Podcast Network. And don't forget, that's where you can download the podcast if you missed any of our show today or yesterday. Tyler Cool now hosting Tuesdays with Tyler. You can go hang out with him anytime. 12-Ounce Sports Hockey Podcast Network. Gonna fill in for the playoffs, at least for now. We'll convince him to do more. I mean, come on. Everyone loves World Hockey Report. You get to sit here and talk hockey. Hey, join the conversation. Jump in anytime. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Facebook, Twitch, wherever you are, say what's up. Got a question? Get it in the chat right now. On Twitter, at World Hockey RPT. We got two of them. So if you had an answer on one, maybe both, fire it in. Said, hey, which Canadian team most likely to lose in the first round of playoffs this year? Which Canadian team is most likely to lose in the first round of playoffs this year? And then this one from a little bit earlier today. What rink is the best game to watch a Stanley Cup playoff game in? Which rink? Best arena, best atmosphere, best fans. Already, we'll get it to some of your answers. They're coming in hot and heavy right now. Even some outrageous ones. Hey, the NHL did their playoff poll as well. We'll dive into some of that. Obviously, Connor McDavid, he's the best player, right? That's kind of not surprising to anyone, but one game, you got one player. Who do you want on your team? Connor McDavid got 42.4% of the vote. Kind of a little low, isn't that? Like, one game, you get to choose one player who you want to have the puck on their stick. Connor McDavid got 42.4%. The fact that 3.3% picked Nathan McKinnon and 3.5% picked Barkov, like there's no way those are actually anyone's top votes. Crosby getting 17.3%. I can actually see a little bit. 6.7% choosing Victor Hedman. Feels a little watered down, though. Just 42% choosing McDavid. Like, he's clearly the best player in the game. We saw that goal against Pittsburgh last night. Like, there is no one close to his level. You want to talk Austin Matthews' 60-goal season? Sure. Still not. No one's going to choose Austin Matthews. He's not even in the top 5 here for a reason. So that really doesn't surprise me. Other ones, one game on the line. You can choose a goaltender. John Gibson comes in at number 4 with 3.5%. Marc-Andre Fleury at number 3 with 6.7%. Carey Price at number 2, 13.9%. Andrei Vasilevsky with 37.4%. Kind of makes sense, right? And I think that's kind of why Tampa Bay is one of the favorites, again, to win the Cup. Because in playoffs, what do you need? You need good goaltending. What have they consistently got from one guy between the pipes? Damn good goaltending. So, yeah, you're going to go with Tampa. You're going to give them the benefit of a doubt, even if they are playing a Florida, Carolina, whoever, because they've got Andrei Vasilevsky. It's not rocket science. They're not changing the world. They're not doing anything outrageous. You've got probably one of the best defensemen in the entire league in Victor Hedman, if not the best. And you've got Andrei Vasilevsky. We'll see how much the extra hockey adds up on him, because I think that's one concern that people definitely do have is, you know, 2 long playoff runs. The bubble probably wears on you a little bit more than people think. Short off season, quick turnaround, long, battle last year. A lot of travel, too. Then you're going to play Montreal, at least in the same time zone. One other thing from that player poll, did want to touch on, who's the most complete player in the league? Now I'm interested. You got an answer, join the conversation right now, get it in. Who is the most complete player in the league? Because the player poll came out today. Number 5 was Anze Kopitar. He got 2.6% of the votes. Connor McDavid had 9.2% of the votes. Good for 4th. Patrice Bergeron, 19.5%. Good for 3rd. Alexander Barkov at 20.5%. And the top one, Sidney Crosby, 29.5%. I think that's fair to round out Sidney Crosby as, the hands-away favorite. McDavid at 9.2% does seem low. I know Adam put out a tweet. It was a little confusing, but he said Connor McDavid received 9.2% of the votes as the game's most complete player. The he's bad defensive argument is dead. I mean, if you're making that argument to begin with, you're probably not that, I don't know, educated's probably a bad way to put it. Like, yeah, obviously there's educated people out there, but it's not like Connor McDavid's ever been bad at defense. Like, I don't think anyone's ever thought, oh my goodness, Connor McDavid, complete liability in the D zone. Like, it's just not something that people say, but it is nice to see him, get some of that player recognition now. Kopitar at 2.6, that just shows how dominant he's been for so long. I don't know. Is it going to be a good first round series, Oilers and Kings? I'm a little concerned it won't be that good of a series. Maybe I'm crazy, but I don't know. Beer Sports, whatever podcast saying hi. What's going on? I mean, what's going on? We're almost in playoffs. It's the best time of the year. If you're a hockey fan right now, this is awesome. I mean, if you love beer and sports too, I think you got to think playoff time, probably the best for you. Beer Sports, whatever podcast, I subscribe. You should do that, everyone. Definitely subscribe to the Hockey Podcast Network. That's what you should be doing right now on YouTube. Doesn't matter if you're watching on Twitter, on Facebook, wherever you're watching from. Still, hop on YouTube, chuck them a subscribe, chuck a like, chuck a follow. And I've got an answer for the question. Get them in now. So we got some more facts to get to. But again, favorite barn to watch a playoff game, Stanley Cup playoff game? Let me know if you got a thought there. As well, first team to get eliminated. First Canadian team to get knocked out of the playoffs this year. City Life Projects in the chat. What's up, Cody? What's up, City Life? Great music, great fans. The bottom ticker's faster than Usain Bolt. Guys, I know. You don't need to, oh man. We could dive into stories for days about how frustrating this backdrop was to get done. And I'm not going to blow someone up. I mean, again, we use the website Fiverr. 99% of the time, it does good work. It is unbelievable how many simple things that just get absolutely toasted when you're trying to, communicate what you want over the internet. Not exactly easy, but I appreciate the Beer Sports Whatever podcast picking that one out because I was ranting to people about that a while ago. We're going to try get it fixed. I mean, again, It's not the easiest thing. Also, City Life Project just said, for every new sub on this stream, I'll donate $1 to Cody. There you go. Challenge accepted from the City Life Project. Hey, we got a couple more notes to get to from the games yesterday. Scores as well. We'll send them your way. Nashville going to be without UC Saros for the rest of the regular season, per Elliot Friedman. Playoffs still TBD, obviously. Scores in the NHL. Calgary beats Nashville 5-4 in overtime. Edmonton hammers Pittsburgh 5-1. Toronto shuts out Detroit 3-0. Boston doubles up Florida 4-2. Super chat, $2 for a better Fiverr designer. Oh, man, City Life. That's, again. Yeah, I kind of want to bury anyone again. It looks cool, but like, this is our new design, I guess, but it has zero look of what we actually submitted. And then we're trying to get these revisions, and I just feel like a hassle where I'm getting 6 revisions done being like, this is nothing like what I asked for. Okay, back to the scores. Tampa beats Columbus 4-1. Carolina over the Rangers 4-3. Edmonton beats Pittsburgh 5-1. The Islanders beat Washington 4-1. I think Washington's the biggest frauds, guys. Like, I do think they've got some decent pieces, but come playoff time, like, they don't scare anyone. Tom Wilson, yes. The rest of them, no. I don't know. Washington, they've definitely lost it. Great show. Fiverr. I agree with the BC Hockey Podcast. Hey, we're missing Canucks lunch, but don't forget, you guys got all the game watch-alongs. Love seeing those on the Hockey Podcast Network. I don't know which ones are coming up tonight. I probably should have checked the schedule. But again, if you don't want to check out a good watch-along, there's always hundreds and hundreds of people. I mean, they're getting thousands on some of these watch-alongs here. So if you're a hockey fan, like your team's playing, and the Hockey Podcast Network's doing a watch-along, get in there. It's a lot of fun. Hang out. Have a beer. Have a cocktail. Do whatever you do. And just enjoy some great hockey because we're coming up on the best time of the year. On the show today, I guess I should have mentioned this, from Wager Doc. Andrew McInnis is going to hop on in about 5 minutes' time. And then it's Grey Cup champ, our resident Flyer fan, Zack Medeiros, is going to hop on at 12:40 today. We'll talk about that pathetic organization down in Philly, how much he loves the Leafs, and all that other good stuff. St. Louis loses to Colorado 5-3 last night. The Avs, man, I don't even know where I stand on St. Louis right now. Sick hat, not a Canucks though. Kaiser, I got you. Go World Hockey Report, the Basketball Podcast Network. I don't even know, like, NBA playoffs, the Raps are still alive. I think they play tonight. I think Game 6 is tonight in Toronto. If they come back, that would be cool, but realistically, I ain't going to lie to you, I ain't a basketball fan. I'll watch the last quarter, and that sucks because it takes an hour to watch. Vancouver beats Seattle. Congrats on the big win, Canucks fans. Still suck. Anaheim beats San Jose 5-2 as well. It was funny to see the way that San Jose was celebrating. Also, did you guys see, oh man, where was it on Twitter? I think it was 2KA Rask, Tuukka Rask on Twitter tweeted it out from the SAP Center. Who cares about the NBA? The T-Wolves are going to blow it. Minnesota sports. Yeah, Soda Pod, I'm sorry. Timberwolves, stick the chain in yourself to the floor. Prediction on how good or bad the Wendy's breakfast is going to be. Bad. Like, I mean, if you're trying to crush a Baconator for breakfast, I'm sorry. I don't know. We've talked fast food so many times on here. I just can't stand it. Like, and so Wendy's getting into the breakfast game. Nope. Not even gonna try. Dylan, I'll let you try it though. We'll drop. We'll make a donation on the next live stream so you can try Wendy's breakfast live on the Hockey Podcast Network. That's what I want, Dylan. That's all I want from you. Okay, back to this quick. I got like 17 notes and I got 2 minutes. This is awesome. So the SAP Center, they put up a sign and it's during the Ducks game and it says, "Fans unite, celebrate, keep the hockey energy kicking. Now imbibe generously, honor the Sharks." And if you take a look at the first letter on all of those, it just spells out "fuck the Knights." Like that's what it spells out, and it is absolutely hilarious. So whoever's working the SAP Center scoreboard, give that person a raise and go check it out on Tuukka Rask on Twitter. I'll retweet it right now on World Hockey Report, so it's going to pop up there. It's great. It's hilarious. It's awesome marketing. It's good for the game, and somehow they snuck it in there. Okay, quickly, though, we are going to get to some of those notes from the NHL World last night. Last night, Shane Gostisbehere's fourth game of 3+ assists this season. Most a Coyote has ever tallied in a single campaign since 1996-97. Matt Boldy, shout out Minnesota Wild. What's going on? Soda Pod, what's up? Extended his point streak to 10 games last night. 3 goals, 9 assists, 12 points in that stretch. He's the first NHL rookie to have double-digit point streak since Clayton Keller in 2017-2018. And that's all we got time for. I can't go through all these notes. We got to hook up with Andrew McInnis on the other side of the break here. Oh, a lot of comments coming in hot and heavy. Taco Bell breakfast in the USA is clutch. Makes taco time look like absolute pigeons. However, the cantinas are good. Cheap beers. Matt Boldy should at least be nominated for Calder. Hey, he's making a case for it for sure, but I don't know. Who do you kick out? Because right now, my Calder, it's obviously Moritz Seider, and then you've got to go with 2 and 3. So Tanner Jeannot's in there, 100%. Is it Boldy? Is it Bunting? Is it Raymond? Maybe you put Boldy as number 3. I think Jeannot's not getting enough love, though. I do think Tanner Jeannot's probably should be sitting in 2 just because he brings an unbelievable veteran presence. And I think we'll see that come playoff time where he's actually going to be a super effective player and no one really knows. Just a nomination. That's all Soda Pod. Well, okay, I would agree with that. But also don't sell him short. I think he could be number 3 right now in rookies. That's where I think is a very fair spot for him. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. Join the conversation anytime. Hey, we got to step aside, though, when we come back. Let's talk NHL bets with our friend from Wager Talk, Andrew McInnis, is coming up after the break. This is World Hockey Report. Hockey fans feel the action like never before with DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League. Right now, new customers can bet just $1 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets if they do. If the sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still hit the ice for cold hard cash. New customers can make their first deposit and play free for thousands with DraftKings daily fantasy hockey contests. Draft your lineup of 8 skaters and a goalie and rack up points for goals, assists, saves, and more. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN. Bet just $1 on any NHL team to win and get $150 in free bets if they do. That's code THPN at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NHL. 21 plus restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Take your game to the next level with Pro Rock hockey sticks. Pro Rock is changing the way we buy top-of-the-line twigs. They're lightweight, balanced, and provide the perfect kick point, whether you're a pro hockey player or a beer league legend. Pro Rock hockey sticks are made for you. They're at a price point you can't beat, so check them out today at prorock.com. Play like a Pro Rock.
What we do here is go back.
World Hockey Report, Cody Janzen coming to you live from the Pro Rock Broadcast Studios today. Join the question. You got a conversation? Got a question, conversation, join it. Whatever. Hey, it's a Wednesday. I haven't been here for a while, too. I was just noticing that. I know I was talking with Tyler, slacked off, took a week off. So if you do have a question that I've missed out on, but again, answer it. It's on Twitter at World Hockey RPT. Best place to watch a playoff game, and what Canadian team do you think gets the boot in the first round? At least it's most likely to. I got my thoughts on that. That'll come up later, but we got to get to our next guest. It's Andrew McInnis joining us from Wager Talk. Andrew, how are you?
Doing great. It's great to be here. It's almost that time. I am almost done with these meaningless hockey games. I can't wait for the real stuff to begin.
How tough is it to cap the last part of the season where you really just have no clue what teams are throwing on the ice?
It's very difficult. I've had a great season, and I haven't wanted to throw that away at all by any means. I'm really picking my spots. You feel like a psychologist more than a handicapper. You're trying to figure out which teams care about certain games, and it's definitely been tough to do so. I've been kind of trying to narrow in just on those, top tier games, with the teams that are actually in the playoffs. But last night I got my first win, I guess, on two bottom tier teams. I had the Senators over the Devils. I just really trying to figure out these teams that are going to give it their all to close out the season. But to answer your question, it is difficult, and I've definitely been trying to get a good read on it. But one expression we always say in the betting world is must win does not mean will win, and people have found that out with Vegas recently.
Yeah, that's a fair one. I think I've kind of shied away from Vegas. Just I bet a lot purely based on goaltenders, and nothing against Logan Thompson. But again, this guy's playing against the University of Regina a few years ago. It's still a tough league to crack into. Minnesota blew a nice 16 parlay for me last night. Like I was certain there was no chance the Wild would blow it against the Arizona Coyotes, and absolutely soured my day. But Andrew, I want to ask you about one team right now, and that's the Edmonton Oilers, who are seemingly buzzing. They're destroying teams. They stomped on Pittsburgh. Is this just a case of a team getting hot at the right time, or do you think they could actually do some damage?
Well, like you said, it is the case of a team getting hot at the right time, and I have been impressed with what they've done. I always say my recipe for playoff success, what I look for as a better physicality, depth, and goaltending. And right now, we are certainly seeing that from the Edmonton Oilers. So the difference is, though, can we see that translate into the playoffs, right? There is a difference from regular season hockey versus the playoffs. But, I'll say as of right now, I'm buying it. I like what the Oilers are doing. If you don't have to just have the top guys doing all the work, if you don't have to just score 5 goals to win a hockey game, Cody, I think it's a great thing for that team. But I do look at that LA team as a sneaky playoff team that can win some low-scoring games. Their forwards back-checked hard. But I'm just not sure they can go line for line with the Edmonton Oilers. But I don't think it'll be a purely dominating series by Edmonton, but I feel like they can squeak it out this year.
I don't know if I agree. Like I agree with the depth take on the Kings, but I don't really see them as a comparable at all. Like they don't play the old Daryl Sutter style that they won with. They're not getting the goaltending. Like Jonathan Quick, I know he's had a decent season, but again, he's not old Jonathan Quick. Cal Peterson's not going to save him. Not having Drew Doughty doesn't help. Dustin Brown's getting old. Like they've got good pieces. But also, it really wouldn't surprise me if the Oilers come out here and sweep them in 4. Like, you'd be like, well, I guess that's what you'd expect from Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. It's about damn time they start winning.
And I like Edmonton. Like I said, I think if they play even a little bit less than what they're playing right now, they'll get that series done a little bit in easy fashion. But let's not sit here and act like Edmonton's playing like they've been playing all season right now. I mean, like you said, you use the expression yourself, getting hot at the right time. If they play the way they're playing right now, they are a dangerous, dangerous hockey team. And I want to see them do well. I like the Oilers, and I like being able to see the several guys on the score sheet. There was a game a while back for the Oilers where they scored, I think it was like 7 or 8 goals, and McDavid didn't get 1 point. I mean, as an Oilers guy, you got to be impressed with games like that, because that's what really is going to be the biggest factor, I think, is several guys contributing.
Yeah, they beat Vegas a week ago. 4-0. Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid both didn't touch the score sheet. Andrew, where do you sit on the Flames right now?
I'm very high on them. Very high on them. I think they're going to get it. They're going to go deep. From an odds perspective, though, I think that you've kind of missed the ship if anyone's looking to bet on them. So you're better off just taking them in their series. I don't like that 7-1 price on them to win the Stanley Cup. But you saw last night that game. It meant a lot to them. Some thought that clinching the division, they might not get up for that game as a playoff preview. They sent a message that was very physical. I like them quite a bit. I think they're gonna make a run, and they're gonna start things off with a bang in the first round.
Andrew McInnis, my guest here from Wager Talk. It's Cody Janzen with you on World Hockey Report. So you mentioned taken by the series instead of a future, and this is why you're the gambling guru we trust on the show. Would you take any, is there any Hail Mary futures worth it right now in your books? Like I'm talking 10, 15 to 1 right now that are even worth a sniff, or are you just throwing away money off a roof?
I still think Carolina at 12 to 1 is great odds. I like Carolina. They don't have that superstar exactly that's going to make you drop your jaw every night, but I like the way they're built. And we talk about teams being playoff style teams and teams being regular season teams. And where I'm from in the far East Coast, we don't have a pro team. So everybody's either a Leafs fan, Boston fan, or a Canadiens fan. And I love getting after my Maple Leaf friends because, well, they're a great regular season team. And I think Carolina is built for the playoffs. And as far as the odds go, I think 12 to 1 is a great number on that. What are your thoughts there?
I'm not a Canes fan. I just don't see it. They don't have that game breaker. Who's the game breaker on Carolina that in Game 7, when they need someone to show up, is going to be the difference maker? And I mean, to be frank, I'm still not sold.
But I'll argue with you and say Oilers have that, and so do the Leafs. At least we thought they did over the past couple of years, don't they?
No, but I'm talking championship game breakers. Again, Matthews and McDavid, they still have to prove themselves when games get tough, and they haven't really gotten to a point where games get super tough yet. I've been open about that.
Right.
But when you look at the past Stanley Cup champs, look at Tampa, they've had Kucherov, Point, Hedman, whatever. Look at St. Louis, Ryan O'Reilly. Look at Washington, they had Ovechkin, they've had Oshie. The further you go back, Chicago even, their game breakers, your Patrick Kanes. I don't see anyone even remotely close. Sebastian Aho is good. He ain't a game breaker, though. They're just a good, consistent team that sits very similar to the New York Islanders, in my opinion.
And I think that that's why they're 12 to 1, right? From an odds perspective, you asked me for a flyer. That's why I think
100%.
they sit where they are. I mean, Pittsburgh is a team that I have right now to win the East at 8 to 1. And I'm not feeling too good about it, to be honest with you. I mean, I took that a couple months back, but I don't know. They're going into the playoffs on a bad note. And I just don't know if this team is what I thought they were going into the playoffs. And there's a reason why right now I'm seeing 21 to 1 odds right now on them. There's always nice to see a nice big plus price there, Cody, but it doesn't really mean much if it doesn't cash for you.
Well, and again, they're missing Tristan Jarry right now. That kills them because the way he was playing earlier, as you said, 8 to 1 for them to win the East, that ain't a bad ticket to have in your hand at all. But they're not healthy anymore. So now that completely changes the game. Hey, you talk about the Leafs. I know you're a Habs fan, so this is going to be an easy one for you. But, I mean, is there a chance that they get past the first round this year?
Well, I know this might sound kind of funny, but I think that if they get past the first round, watch out. I mean, the way that this format is, and I used to love the 1 versus 8. I'd be interested in your take on that. But the way this format is set up, I think that if they get past that first round hump, they could be a dangerous team to look out for. But Tampa Bay, getting the back-to-back Cup champions in your first round, it's not really the easiest task at hand. And we saw what happened last week when these two teams played. I still think that Tampa Bay is more built for the playoffs, and obviously we've seen it with their cups, but they're physical. They've got the depth. People love to take shots at Patrick Maroon and say, what has he brought to a Stanley Cup team? Well, I think we can see what he brings, physicality. He brings that leadership in the locker room, and I don't think John Tavares brings that, physicality and leadership. I know he's not the same kind of player as Patrick Maroon, obviously, and Wayne Simmons and those guys, they can't be out there all the time to protect Matthews and Martin. So I just don't think they're physical enough to get over that hump against Tampa Bay. I'll say Lightning in 7 in that series.
Wow. So here's my issue with the Leafs, and it's if they do go far, can Jack Campbell even stay healthy for 2-3 rounds? I actually have legit concerns that this guy ain't someone to go multiple rounds. I don't know. I haven't seen it. And the way he plays under pressure, yeah, you don't want that between the pipes if you're in Toronto. Does Boston have a chance against Florida, do you think, in that first round? Or no, Boston would play Carolina. Washington would play Florida. I mean,
Yes.
I've expressed my opinion on Washington before. Are you kind of in a similar boat where, their ship has sailed?
I think so. Somebody asked me earlier today which one might be the easiest one to pick and which one might be the hardest one. I said the hardest would be Minnesota, St. Louis, and the easiest one might be Florida and Washington. I know you aren't too high on Carolina, but Carolina, I don't always take into account, the regular season series and matchups and stuff, but Carolina actually outscored the Bruins. I believe it was like 16-1 in 3 games. What does that mean to you about regular season matchup series versus going into the playoffs?
I look into it for sure, but there's also teams like Boston who have just been notorious. Like if that's Edmonton, if that's a Vancouver, and we're talking season series, I say it means absolutely nothing. But for Boston, I don't know. I feel like this is a team that used to be able to turn on a switch. I think they're just getting old. Like I don't think they've got the depth anymore. I still don't know if they've got the goaltending. Like, let's be real. Is Swayman your guy? Is Allmark your guy? And are they even top 5 goalies in the East right now? Like, or top 8 goalies in the East? I don't know. That's how much I look into that. And then, as you said, if it's a dominant regular season like that, this isn't just, they went 4-0 against them. This is they actually hammered them and didn't allow shit.
Well, how weird has that goaltending situation been for the Bruins this year? You talked about it. Then, of course, with Rask coming back for, a handful of games. And there was actually a point where, Allmark was in nets and the fans were chanting, "We want Rask." And then 3 games later, they're booing Rask out of the building. It just seems like it's been kind of a soap opera in Boston this year. And that's not really what they're known for.
Boston fans are definitely soap operas. You see it on Twitter, Andrew. You don't need to lie. I'll say it. I'll say it for you. Okay, last one for you. We only got a couple minutes left here. It's Minnesota St. Louis. It's arguably the best round in the first series, in my opinion. Again, they're neck and neck. They got 109 points each. Minnesota's got 2 tough games. I think they got Calgary and Colorado to close it out. And then St. Louis, I don't know I think they play Vegas, actually. I think St. Louis has Vegas once more to close it out. But when you look at that series, give me a lean or something. Give us something to follow.
Well, over the past month and a half, I've been saying Minnesota presents great value to people. But the way I've seen St. Louis end the season off, the way I've seen them play over the past few months, and their goaltending has gotten, it's held them in games. It's done very well. And when it doesn't, they're putting up 4 or 5 goals. The Blues won the season series 3-0, and actually 2 of those games were overtime games. You talk about game breakers, Cody. I think they have that. And Minnesota, I don't know if I think that I want to take them in crunch time versus the St. Louis Blues team, though. So it'll be a great series, one of the tougher ones to choose. But I would give a lean there to the St. Louis Blues in that one.
I agree. I like the Blues as well. So Slinksy says he's got a question for you. I guess I can't let you go yet, Andrew. Now that Matthews has got 60 goals, is he the Hart Trophy winner?
Of course.
You think
of course.
You think he's the Hart Trophy winner over McDavid, eh?
I think he's going to get it. I love McDavid and what he brings. I think that McDavid gets disrespected because what he does, he makes it look so easy. I know you're a McDavid guy. I'm a McDavid guy personally. I'm not telling you what I want to happen, Cody. I'm telling you what I think.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Interesting one for Slinksy there.
we can't pick with our hearts, right?
Yeah.
So.
I guess, okay, World Hockey RPT poll's going on right now. They'll go check it out on Twitter. Andrew, what Canadian team's most likely to lose out in round 1?
What Canadian team most likely to lose out in round 1? You know what I have to say. I have to do it.
It's
the
Toronto.
Maple Leafs. It's a tough matchup against Tampa Bay. Anybody that knows me, Cody, they're going to say it's because I'm biased. I'm a Habs fan. I hate the Leafs. But I'm telling you, it's a tough matchup. They're a great team. I'm really high on the Flames, though. They're going to get the job done. And your Oilers, I think they can get it done as well. Maybe not with as much ease as some might think.
Well, I'm sticking with Oilers in 4, but I agree with you. We hate the Leafs together. We'll kick them out. And I don't even have to ask you your best place to watch a playoff game because I know it's going to be Montreal. Andrew, man, thank you so much for your time. It's been a blast. I appreciate it.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Andrew McInnis right there from Wager Talk. You know, there's 2 people we trust. when it comes to sports betting. Andrew and Pete Tucci. Those are our two guys. They're transparent. There's no BS. None of that. Those are our guys. Go follow them on Twitter. We already tweeted out their names and everything. You guys know Andrew. You know Pete already. They are the real deal when it comes to sports betting. Slinksy, I'm not sure. Like Matthews for the Hart, it's impressive. It's crazy the season he's having. Is it the most outstanding season award or is it the most valuable player? Because if it's the MVP, everyone knows the most valuable player in the league, the 1-1 pick, it's always going to be Connor McDavid. Okay, we got to get to a couple of your answers here on Twitter as well. Best rank. We'll get to the other question later on. Best rank to watch a Stanley Cup playoff game on Twitter. Will says, typically one where it's happening. Okay, smart-ass comment. Chalk that up for 1 for Will. Derek O'Brien. The rink the Coyotes will play in next year. Honestly, the atmosphere could be great. Too bad they're like 5 years away from the playoffs. I'm not sold on small rink bringing a good atmosphere. Like, where does this come from where every small rink has a good atmosphere? I don't believe it. Like, 5,000 fans is still 5,000 fans. 19,000 fans is still 19,000 fans. It's a better atmosphere. So the media is going to say, well, McDavid already won it. Slinksy, I do agree with that. And I think that, there might be a little bit of that voter fatigue when it does come to McDavid. Again, Matthews is making it a conversation. I 100% agree with that. But if it's still going to come down to the Hart's the most valuable player in the league, it's McDavid. Matt LaValle says Minnesota Wild XL Energy Center. Well, can the Wild get past the first round? I guess that'll be a real telltale sign for them. Ryan McKinney says the Shark Tank back in the day was fun. Not one bad seat in the barn, and it was probably the loudest in the NHL. Yeah, it's a loud place. I remember like the Nabokov days, Jeremy Roenick, like the battle against the Dallas Stars. They had some great series down in San Jose. I like that place for sure. RCR Dad said Northlands Coliseum was pretty amazing for a playoff game, beyond loud. Yeah, and they were also winning there. So Slinksy, best place to watch a game? Nashville. Never been to Nashville. Seems like a crazy place. What a series, though. Like Nashville, Calgary. Nashville's got one of the best. I would say it's easy a top 5 rink in the NHL. Great fan base. And then you go to Calgary and you got the Saddle Dome. Absolutely iconic Saddle Dome for playoffs. Okay, we got a bunch more answers coming too, but we are, we've blown past a commercial break already. Well, step aside. It's Cody Janzen with you on World Hockey Report. When we come back, the Toronto Maple Leafs #1 fan, Zack Medeiros. Hockey fans, feel the action like never before with DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League. Right now, new customers can bet just $1 on any team to win and get $150 in free bets if they do. If the sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, you can still hit the ice for cold hard cash. New customers can make their first deposit and play free for thousands with DraftKings daily fantasy hockey contests. Draft your lineup of 8 skaters and a goalie and rack up points for goals, assists, saves, and more. DraftKings is safe, secure, and reliable. Best of all, you can deposit and withdraw your cash whenever you want. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code THPN. Bet just $1 on any NHL team to win and get $150 in free bets if they do. That's code THPN at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the NHL. 21 plus restrictions apply. See show notes for details.
Take your game to the next level with Pro Rock hockey sticks. Pro Rock is changing the way we buy top-of-the-line twigs. They're lightweight, balanced, and provide the perfect kick point, whether you're a pro hockey player or a beer league legend. Pro Rock hockey sticks are made for you. They're at a price point you can't beat, so check them out today at prorock.com. Play like a Pro Rock.
What we do here is go back.
Zack Medeiros is going to join us on the line. We gotta talk Flyers with him because he's a huge Flyers fan, and I mean that team's been a dumpster fire. When you think about most disappointing teams this season, like at least the Islanders kind of had a decent second half. The Flyers were an absolute joke from start to finish. Zach, like, do you blow it up right now? Because I have zero clue where this team even goes.
You trash on the Flyers, but the past 2 years, like, they haven't given me anything at all. So I have to kind of suck it up and just accept it for what it is, because the last 2 years they've had some pretty high expectations. I think we can kind of both agree on that, especially with, the way they've been drafting and off-season moves by our boy Chuck over there. I don't know if I'm ready to blow it up just yet. There is some pieces you can build around. I'm not saying that they're going to be in any cup contention for the next couple of years, but I would say some retooling for the next 2 to 3 years would probably be the way to go, because you still have guys like Coots. You still have, you have young guys like Cam York. You have Carter Hart. I mean, whenever you have a good goaltender, that kind of saves the day a little bit for you. But at the same time, you do have to shed a lot of that weight and kind of start new. And who knows what's going on with Ryan Ellis too. I mean, I don't really want to dive into that because I've been waiting for the past 5 months to get any sort of update on his injury, and they're not really giving us anything. So I'm not going to say, blow up everything, but let's go a little 2 to 3 year nice little retool and see what happens.
So are you cheering for Florida during the playoffs here?
Listen, I don't want to be one of those fans. I love Claude Giroux. I got his jersey. I want to see him do well. And if they end up winning the cup, if they win the cup, I'll be happy for him. I'm not going to jump on the bandwagon, but you know what? For G though, he's earned a cup, especially with all the dog years he's had in Philly. They haven't really surrounded him with a lot of high-end talent over the years, so it would be nice to see him bring home a cup.
Has he actually earned a cup, though?
Yeah, I think he has, man. Come on. There's a stretch of the 2010s there where you could argue he was probably a top 4 or 5 player in the league. Don't do this to me, man. Listen, we're off to a good start here. Don't ruffle the feathers this early. All right? Don't do this to me.
Don't do this to you. It's the Philadelphia Flyers. I mean, we can
trash anyone else. Trash where you want. You know what I mean? If you want to, sandbag Ryan Ellis, let's keep the focus there.
Well, okay, let's talk about the goaltending then. Carter Hart. I mean, are we ready to trade him yet or no? Because I think the Oilers could use a goaltender.
Have you and I watched the same Carter Hart from this year? I think he's had a great bounce back year.
Well, but still, we could use him in Edmonton here.
Oh, I mean, trade Connor. Then you have yourself a deal.
Geez, okay, we're talking realistic trades only here. Hey, do you think they re-sign Martin Jones or what? Because his deal's up, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if he had a chance to watch much that Felix Sandstrom prospect they have. He hasn't won a game yet, but in the games he has played, again, this is the Flyers that we're talking about, so they're going to give up a lot of grade A scoring chances. He's actually looked pretty good from what I've seen, but I don't think he's ready to kind of fill that role yet. And maybe if you're him, based off your recent play, maybe he's thinking he can get a stint, maybe trying to start somewhere else on a lower level team. I don't know how much lower level you get than the Flyers though. I wouldn't mind bringing Jones back for another year. And then whenever I know that there's a lot of rumblings about this Ivan Fedotov guy in the KHL, but we're not really going to touch on that, especially with the transactions going over there in Russia. And again, this guy's never played in North America once in his life, so I don't know how much to kind of read into that, but if you look at his stats, he looks pretty good. But I agree though. I wouldn't mind having Jones back for another year. I think that's a pretty good tandem.
Anyone but the Nets is in the chat here. We keep getting these trolls coming through being like, is this the guy that's using the N-word? I don't know. I mean, again, I'm not one to use the N-word, but they're gonna just overload the conversation here. I feel like someone's just like, that's the YouTube mentality of, We got a few trolls in here in the conversation, so we'll clean it up for you. Hockey talk only. But again, I don't know where that rumor may or may not be coming from because there's zero proof of that. Zach, we got to talk Oilers though. Are they going to sweep the Kings? Because I think that's such a mismatched series when you look at it from the outside.
Yeah, you know what? I just feel like, I think the Wings are, sorry, not the Wings. The Kings were not even like a team that they're kind of like another afterthought when we think of kind of a playoff team here. But they somehow found their way into the conversation. If you were to ask me this, at the end of last year, I would say that they might be able to make things interesting because the Oilers were kind of playing like crap early on in the year. But ever since, is it Woodcroft? Is that his name? Ever since he took over,
Woodcroft, yeah.
They've looked really good over the past 2 months. I mean, you know what you're going to get from guys like Connor and Leon, the two best players in the world, allegedly anyway. It was just kind of cleaning up those other lines, and, lines 2 to 4 kind of picking up their way. But it seems like, again, for the past month and a half, 2 months, they've kind of found their game, and they're playing really good, especially on 5-on-5. And Mike Smith has gotten hot at the right time. So, yeah, I'm going to give LA a game here, but I'm going to say Oilers in 5. Let's say that.
I don't mind that one. Adam Badilla's in the chat here says that he loves that the Flyers paid the Coyotes to take Shane Gostisbehere, who's having a career year down in Arizona. That's a bad look on the Flyers. Again, I'll just throw that out there.
Year. Well, I mean, when you're getting like 35 minutes a night, and let's not forget, he's probably also like a dash 30. So, sure.
Oh, a dash 30. That's a team stat right there. Right now, he's had 4 games of 3+ assists this season. That's the most in a Coyotes season since 1996.
It's the Coyotes we're also talking about. I like Ghost. I think offensively, I think he's gifted. I would have loved to have him, but at the same time, man, he's had some pretty harsh brain farts with Philly. Ever since that 1 year where he kind of popped off and he was a Calder finalist, he didn't look great. But I'm happy he's doing well in other places. That's just the trend for Philly. I thought it was going to be the same thing with Nolan Patrick when he went to Vegas, and that. Again, he hasn't really looked great, but who knows? Maybe he'll pick up next year if he can kind of stay healthy.
Just a point machine. Tyson Barrie hey, who's your Hart Trophy winner? Is it Matthews or McDavid?
Carter Hart. Can we say him? Can we add him in the conversation?
Oh, my goodness. This is where this one's going.
Let's change it up. Like, Connor can't. I know he didn't win it last year, but I feel like every other year he wins it. So let's give it to Matthews. I like Austin. He got 60, right? So... And he hasn't played every game either, right? I think he's also missed some time. So that's also very impressive that he was able to get 60 when he's played, 70-some-odd games. So, yeah, let's give it to him. Because I can't remember, other than Stamkos, who was the last guy to hit 60? I can't remember.
I don't know. I don't. You think I keep track of stats here, especially 60 goals? Hasn't it only been done, 3 times?
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's been a while.
Or in the recent history. Yeah, it's still absolutely insane. But
crazy goal feature to hit. Yeah.
I don't know. I still think that whole Hart Trophy is a joke. Is it the most outstanding season, or is it the actual league MVP?
I never understand that. Remember the one year when Jose Theodore won that? I almost cried. What a year! What a year!
I agree. Okay, M's in the chat too. We gotta just block these guys or something. I don't know. We'll get our social media person on it. So was this the guy that used the N-word or not? I have no clue where this is coming from, but it's getting outrageous in the chat right now. Hey, okay, back to hockey talk. One more. Calgary Flames. They got to play Nashville, and Nashville plays them tough, but they might be without Saros. Are you a little worried for the Flames?
Yeah. Who's their backup right now? I don't really pay attention to those.
David Riddick, former Flame.
David Riddick. There we go. I don't know. I don't think so. And Nashville's been playing pretty. I mean, they're okay. I don't know if you saw that one stat from them, which I found absolutely crazy, is that Roman Josi, is he not leading the team in points, and he's a defenseman? How is that even possible? And they're a playoff team.
Well, Josi's nasty. I mean,
he's a defenseman, though. You're telling me there's a one forward who can have more points than him?
Well, who do they have for decent forwards? Duchesne?
Forsberg?
Yeah, they're fine, but they're not they're not that good.
Okay, but how many times you're gonna have your D-man leading your team in points? And on top of that, they're a playoff team. I think that's pretty well stat. I just thought I'd get it out there because I saw that the other day. I'm just like, wow, it's kind of crazy that D-Man's leading them in points. But I know, yeah, he is sick. But no, I don't think so. I think without Saros, I think it's pretty tough to give it to Nashville, especially with the way Calgary's been playing this year. And Johnny Hockey, he's been going strong. You look at guys like Lindblom, whatever. I get him confused with Oscar Lindblom, but I think it's Lindholm. I'm probably saying that wrong.
Yeah, Lindholm.
It sucks that they don't have Monahan. I know he's done for the year, and you can only imagine if he was in the lineup how much damage they'd be doing. But they're another team, man. Overall, it seems like they're just gelling at the right time. I think overall this year they just been pretty steady. So that's another game I'll probably give 5-6. I'm going to say Calgary in 6 though.
You think Toronto's got a chance against Tampa or no?
Man, I feel like every year it's the same thing. It's the same crap, different year. You know what I mean? You got to think, I don't know, man. They're such a weird team come playoff time. It all depends on their top guys, right? Like Matthews, he's got to be able to score. They have to be able to transfer over their regular season to playoffs. So I think it'll be very telling in the first 2 games, the way that this series is going to go. And if they find themselves behind, 2-1, 2-0, I think the wheels are going to fall off pretty quick. Last year, Jack Campbell played really well in the playoffs, so I don't think he's to blame. So you can't really throw too much shade on the goaltending. Damn, am I really going to do this right now? How can you bet against a 2-time defending Cup champ? I'm going to say Toronto. I'm going to say Toronto in 7. I don't know why I'm doing this, but why not?
Toronto in 7, eh?
Yeah.
Think Jack Campbell's good enough?
He's been good. I think he's been solid for since dating back to last year. I mean, that's the reason that they also traded Freddie, right? So, because they envision him being the guy. And I think overall, he's, playing in a tough Canadian market like Toronto. I think he's, been able to hold his weight there. So, yeah, I mean, man, you can touch on that more. You're the goalie here. Just based off the eye test, I think he's been pretty damn solid since he's been in Toronto.
Oh, I don't know. I just have zero faith in the Leafs, I guess. I really think, if you got to go head-to-head against Andrei Vasilevsky, it's just not going to work.
But but how many years has it been? It's been since, 2003 that they haven't won a first round? You got to think at some point, with the core they have now, this is the core of that's supposed to win them the cup. So it's at some point, okay, Matthews has a 60-goal year. Marner's 3 points away from 100. They're all playing well right now. I just don't see them just falling off the wagon that quickly just because it's playoffs now. I know they have in the past few years, but I feel like hopefully they've also learned from their errors. They've had to. We can't keep calling them kids. These are guys in their mid-20s now. At some point, you got to figure it out. You got to move forward. And I think this might be the year that they do it and finally get over that hump.
I could see it. Okay, one of the series I'm most looking forward to here is we got a couple minutes left with Zack Medeiros. Minnesota and St. Louis. Where do you lean on this one?
Ooh, that's an interesting series. I think a lot of it's going to fall on goaltending, honestly. Damn, that's a tough one. I'm going to go Mini. I think the consensus would be, I think most people might say St. Louis. I don't know. I'm not sure, but I'm going to say Mini. I like Mini in this one.
I kind of like St. Louis in this one, though.
Yeah. It can go either way for me, man. I don't know.
I love that Robert Thomas kid in St. Louis. He buzzes around. It'll be a good series, though. I'm interested to see what Kaprizov does when things get a little tight.
Yeah. You guys Kaprizov. I mean, man, they got guys like that. I mean, but yeah, St. Louis has some pretty good young talent too. And Ryan Hartman out of nowhere. How are you, Philly? There you go. See, there's another bump right there. Philly moves on from Ryan Hartman. Then this guy goes to Mini and is absolutely having a career year. So, yeah. I still like Mini, though.
Just thank Philly for everything, eh? That's the motto of the story.
Yeah. You leave them, and you'll flourish somewhere else, man.
Oh, it's a tough life being a Flyers fan. But, Meds, this has been a blast, buddy. I appreciate you. We'll talk soon.
Sounds good, buddy. Thanks for having me.
Zack Medeiros right there joining us on World Hockey Report. Alrighty, we got to wrap things up here. Hey, we will figure out this YouTube chat issue, whatever. I don't know what the hell is going on here. But, yeah, if there's any accusations, are legit, send us a DM for sure. I think our DMs are open at World Hockey RPT, but yeah, until there's actually something that's concrete evidence, I mean, if you're just spamming us for fun, that's fine. But yeah, get a life maybe about that one. I guess we'll throw that out there. Hey, until next time, though, everyone, as always, enjoy the playoffs. We're going to be back tomorrow. Adam Ermentrout is going to be on the show. Same time, same place. Miss any of it, go download it on the Hockey Podcast Network. Everyone, be kind, be better.